All right. Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to another edition of Another Eden Live. I am Scott, your community manager for Another Eden, the cat beyond time and space. And thank you all so much for being here. I see a lot of familiar faces in chat, some new ones. Hello, Melody and Wiccan, Losers, Diafaldo, Farlin, Best Boy is Best Boy. Karmic Virtue, Silent Foxy, Rise Onic, hello, Jester, Tanjiro, Aldean, thank you so much for being here as always, and for the first time, if you are new with us. If you are new with us, please be sure to like, subscribe, do all the things that help us do more of these things. Let's get right into it. I don't want to delay too much because we have a chonky sode for you today indeed. Starting with a little bit of a recap of this month's update. The update that came out on June 14th, let me just summarize for anybody who hasn't played since then, or for people who are playing and just need a reminder on all the different things going on. We released the 3000 Realm Ark and the Sea Abyss Conclusion. That came with encounters for Another Style Harmonia, Fateful Encounter Harmonia Edition, and then with a 3-time only Fateful Encounter Trio, the Moon and Sea Edition. Those are still on until July 14th. And speaking of things that are still on, there are still some campaigns that are running, including a campaign that increases the achievement reward from 10 to 100 for beginning the episode 3000 Realm Ark and the Sea Abyss through July 31st, 2022. We also have a Chrono Stone sale going on for 2,000 and 4,000 increments, 2 times each until June 26th. That's just a couple of days from now, ending at 2:59 p.m. UTC. So that's what's going on. And while we're talking about the June 14th update, let's just take a moment and appreciate Milsha's Another Style, voiced by Billy Fulford Brown. What do you think? Need more fish? More fish. So, we want to actually also give you a little bit of a behind the scenes here. So, we had a little bit of a Q&A with the scenario team, specifically Mizuki Hiratani of the scenario team for this. We asked, what is the theme of the episode? The 3000 Realm Ark and the Sea Abyss story. They said, I think ultimately it's a story about life, probably. How to live with the life we are born with. Is it good or bad, pleasing or lamentable, or neither, to live as prescribed? From the middle of the story, I also became very conscious of natural disasters as a sub-theme, an overwhelming force that suddenly attacks our daily lives, and how to struggle onward against that. We also asked, what did you consider most important in the creation of the scenario? I think it was the fact that we didn't present a correct answer to the theme that we set forth in the story. Instead, all the characters talk things out, struggle, and think matters through to make their own choices. There are as many thoughts and choices as there are people, births, and viewpoints. The same goes for everyone who reads this story, and of course, I took care up to the very end not to violate that point by providing a correct answer determined by the author. A couple more questions here, actually. Was there anything you found difficult? We asked, and the answer was, I think it was the process of cutting down the volume of the story. It's any editor's answer, I think. The episode is a sequel to 2 major stories, the 1,000-year arc of the Ocean Palace and Song of Sword and Wings of Lost Paradise, and it also brings together all the stories of the episode-related characters that have existed since the days of the release, expands on them, and finishes them up. While we were plotting them out, the amount of information and scale of the story just kept growing, and we had a hard time putting it all into 4 chapters. And finally, we asked if they had any message to the players. First of all, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that even a single ripple, no matter how small, will leave a lasting impression on you. Conclusion is especially long, so please take breaks and get some sleep while playing. And speaking of taking breaks and getting sleep, I realize a lot of you out here are up at very different times. We appreciate all of you for being here. Thank you all so much for being here again. But of course, please prioritize your own health and make sure you're not doing anything. You're not losing sleep or anything like that. The VOD will be available. The stream will be available for watch at any time after the stream is over. Please take care of yourself. That said, we have a special edition now of Backy's Battle Tips, the 2-character special for Philo's Another Style and Milsha's Another Style. Begin with Philo. Another Style battle tips and tricks from Backy. So Philo is a powerful attacker that shows his true value in long battles without using another force. It takes some preparation, such as stacking World Tree power and raising another force gauge to 100%, but he makes it worth the wait. First tip, he'll store power until the World Tree power is fully stacked, and during this time, Hold Ground is applied so he won't die, and his counterattacks allow him to deal damage while enduring. His Another Style's Crown Jewel skill is Branche Coupe. I recommend supporting him with other characters to get the most out of that. Third tip, boost the damage of axe-equipped characters with his own skill, Genius of Wisdom, or the Grasta skill, True Axis Player, or use skills that boost water-type attacks. And then, as far as recommended party members, Backy recommends Nagi Extra Style, who also shines with 100% another force gauge, works well with the Sea of Stars stance. Nikoko, whose Spirit Wisdom boosts type attacks, and she can equip True Axe's Prayer. Milsha AS, you'll see. And characters who can use Water Zone's Guard or Rage. Speaking of Milsha AS, her battle tips for her. She is a versatile, easy-to-use supporter with singing, who grants 2 types of singing effects. Compared to Pizka and Mistrare AS, Milsha AS's singing can deliver higher damage from the first turn when another force is not activated. She's also good for mid to long-term endurance fights. So first tip, she can help defeat enemies quickly due to the singing effect of Tragodi Spathi. I'm pronouncing that right. Lunatic, sacrifice to all allies, hold ground at max HP, and 50% damage increase. Sacrifice is an attack type effect that converts endurance into power and spirit into intelligence. The singing effect of Tragodi Aspida grants Lunatic Risk Taker to all allies and reduces damage taken by 50% on all allies, and reduces damage below that would be below 1,000 to 0. One of the benefits is that it can cancel out the disadvantages of Risk Taker. According to Backy, this is his opinion, but she is superior to Pizka and Mistrare AS in that she can attack faster on the first turn when not in another force. And as far as how to complement Milsha's Another Style, Flamlepis is the best magic attacker, without a doubt. Eva grants Break by Icicle Zorch, and Chio, Another Style, Poison Pain, and Horai Jewel's Mental Focus are very powerful. So, there you have it. Those are Backy's tips. Now we've covered these characters of the past, let's look forward to the future. And as we look forward to the future, I have a video to show you, so please enjoy this video. New story content is coming in the form of Apocrypha, which are beyond episodes and beyond mythos. What do you think? What are your thoughts? First impressions? What did you think of that video? So a lot of people look excited. A lot of let's goes, a lot of hypes. I'm as excited as you are, but what is an Apocrypha? Some of you may be asking. So what is an Apocrypha? An Apocrypha is a new type of story content. It's a new type of scenario content. It's different from episodes in mythos. They take place across various eras and continents, and they're composed of multiple stories, each of which advances a grand storyline. And each story is written by a different scenario writer, and each one is concluded in a single episode. So the idea is you have these independent storylines that kind of all converge together into one and conclude into one single episode when they meet together. You can expect to see some familiar characters from the past in action. So what about this Apocrypha, A Wanderer in the Vortex? This is the first story content of the new kind of content, Apocrypha. It is a story of correcting distorted history to restore history to what it should be. It is also a time loop story about escaping from days that endlessly repeat. It is also a time loop story about escaping from days that endlessly repeat. It is also a time loop story about escaping from days that endlessly repeat. And I'm going to stop the joke there before it gets old. There will be a prologue plus 6 stories, so choose your starting point from among the first to the third stories. So, like I said before, you've got different stories that you could choose from. The starting point can be any of the first to the third stories, and then eventually they begin to converge. Let's take a look at some of the art for this time looping story, this Apocrypha. That is, I don't know about you guys. I love this. I just absolutely love this. We have a comment actually from Yamanaka-san from the art team who says that the writer gave me the image of ephemeral beauty, and I created this picture with the aim of creating a feeling of fantastic beauty. I hope you enjoy the spiraling light and the collapsing upside down castle. Can imagine what they mean in the future. Need that wallpaper right now? It is beautiful, isn't it? So let's give it a little bit of a synopsis. Let's get into dramatic roll mode here. In the beginning, there was only one, a huge vortex in the river of time. In spinning, it distorted the space around it like interlocking gears, creating endlessly repeating, recurrent space-time. Trapped in these countless swirls and eddies, the prisoners of the recurrent space-times can never move forward. The only way to save them is to correct the twisted history that binds them. A young woman wandering the vortex reaches for your hand, and after countless journeys you will learn her truth. Each life is a thread in the grand tapestry of history. An unforgettable story awaits. And scene. So, we've dealt with lots of different kinds of interaction with time in Another Eden. We've dealt with parallel time layers, just your traditional, so to speak, travel back and forth through eras. With another parallel time layers. Here we have time whirlpools and recurrent space-time. So you've got this event, this irregular event called the time whirlpool, which occurred, and the time whirlpool engulfed the surrounding space-time, creating a special space-time phenomenon called recurrent space-time, in which the same periods of time loop over and over again. So this is a story in which Aldo and his friends get to the core, get to why the time whirlpool was created in the first place, and they try to solve the problems that occur in these recurrent space-time time loops. The time whirlpool, a description of it that we have here, a vortex in the flow of time. It twists the flow of time near itself. Recurrent space-time are space-time bubbles that repeat a set time span. So, story number 1 coming out of this is The Wanderer in the Vortex, The Road to Thunder. So let's set up The Road to Thunder. Back to dramatic voice, narration voice. The year is 3000 BC. The flames of war lick at the walls of the thundering fortress. A brutal tragedy repeats at the hands of the ogres who have turned to dark methods in their pursuit of power. To change this fate, a young woman will become a hero. And with that, let's look at some of the environments that we're going to see. First, we have a new area, the Thundering Fortress itself. What do you think? It's got a very medieval look to me, but, you know, very classic fortress on a hilltop. I love it. Then we have a new area, the Time Whirlpool. This looks a little bit more of an enchanted kind of place. A lot of power kind of seeping throughout the environment. And then finally, we have new area 3, the Maze Village. Lots of very pretty purples and blues here. What is your, tell me chat, what is the area you're looking forward to the most? We have new area 1, Thundering Fortress, the Time Whirlpool, and Arat, the Maze Village. Castle, the last one, the Maze. Lots of Maze Villages, a couple of Thundering Fortresses. Very cool. Along with seeing new settings, we'll also be able to see some new characters. First off, we have Nona. She wanders carrying unforgettable memories, voiced by Anna Devlin. Nona is the protagonist of this Apocrypha, and you will get her when you first start the Apocrypha. No encounter needed. You will just get her when you start. But she's not the only person that you can meet. Here, we'll also have Orlea, voiced by Heather Nicole, timid inheritor of a grand legacy. Now, let's take a look at Orlea here. Orlea is a good support unit. Her 5-star, she's gonna deploy a new zone, Thundering Stance, that boosts Thunder type and can be deployed by using Valor Chant and skills. The All-You-Mage supports allies by increasing their power, intelligence, and speed by 100% while Thundering Stance is deployed. The Lumiere Seal reduces the enemy's power and intelligence by 50% and recovers 3,000 hit points, making it useful in long battles. I love those fixed recovery, as you saw in my last Super Boss battle. Love that fixed 3,000 recovery there. She can activate Zone Awakening to increase her combo multiplier, and also she can activate Lunatic only when she activates Zone Awakening herself. And she is also durable against heavy damage with her ability to grant hold ground. I'm noticing, let me just take a moment. I think the bottom of our screen here is a little bit off. I'm gonna see if I can do anything about that. Let's bring it back up to here. There we go. All right, can we see everything? Yes. Okay, now we're not cut off anymore. In addition to Orlea, we have a familiar face. Miyu's extra style, voiced by Jessica McDonald, a princess chasing distant ideals. Let's take a look at ES Miyu. She has Keraunos. This is rough. Keraunos Charis delivers thunder type piercing attack, extra large, XL, with strength based on her speed. While in Fury Storm, the strength is increased based on another force combo multiplier. Her speed is 275, wind level 80, and light and shadow are at 0. Oh, one of the highest among all characters. Lunatic increases the combo multiplier for her allies and increases the power of Keraunos Charis. That is the canon pronunciation. I am declaring that independently myself. Fury Storm boosts her skills, increases all her stats by 50, and increases her physical resistance by 50% for 3 turns. Although she takes damage equal to her maximum HP when she deactivates it. She can avoid dying with Hold Ground granted by Orlea, so you can kind of see how these two can complement each other pretty well. Levin Longinus becomes 10 times more powerful and grants 35 times more pain when Fury Storm is activated. It also gains barrier piercing while Thundering Stance is deployed. So those are our new characters. What do you think? Which character are you looking forward to the most? We got Orlea. There's a little bit of a delay, which is why I'm quiet. We've got Orlea, ESMU, both, all of them. Orlea, a good mix of everything, it looks like. One person said, ES Scott. Hey, get that campaign started. I'm not gonna actively advocate for an ES Scott to be implemented into the game. I'm also not gonna stop a campaign that happens on its own if it happens to happen on its own. Nona. Oh, thanks. Alcron, I like this shirt. I realize I'm kind of in the way of some of this. For anybody looking to get a screenshot here. My mic was still kind of hovering in space. So that's what we have coming up for the characters. We also have some new music now. I think some of you commented already. You heard and you already knew what the track was for the opening music. Opening music title is Forget Me Not, sung by the Paradoxical Dreamers, or Kanako Kotera. Lyrics also by Kanako Kotera, and the music is by Shigeki Hayashi. Now, this music, as well as all of the music, the new music we'll be introducing here, is by the Right Flyer Studio sound team. We have another track. We have other tracks here as well, also by the sound team. The main theme, titled Tokiwa Itoshiki Mono no Sete, music by Takeshi Yamagami of the Right Flyer Studio sound team, and then a new regular battle track titled Redefine History, music by Shigeki Hayashi of the Right Flyer sound team. Now, I could just tell you the track names and who they're by, or maybe we listen to them for ourselves, right? I've prepared a little video for you to sample some of the tracks here. So please enjoy the sample of the upcoming music tracks you can see or hear in the new updates. So what did you think? What was your favorite track from those three that we heard? Now, obviously, you'll be able to hear the full versions in the game. Those were just some short samples from both of them. The battle theme. Oh wow, a lot of people like the battle theme the most. Interesting. A little bit surprising. I mean, the battle theme is great. Don't get me wrong. I love the battle theme too. Very cool. Well, is it, if you were not already sold on the Apocrypha content coming up, our new producer for the global version of Another Eden Cap Beyond Time and Space, Koike-san, has some further selling points to express to you. First, it's fun. Why do you want to play? It's fun because it's an omnibus style story with various eras and characters. It is a story about saving the world by looping, and Nona is cute. It is recommended for people who like loop stories and people who want to play the stories in their own order. Like I said before, you could choose between the first and third stories as your starting point for the Apocrypha. And also a little bit of behind the scenes. Each story has its own scenario writer and planner, which will give them each a little bit of a different feel. Nona, I knew that Nona is cute was going to be the point that pushed anybody who was on the line, pushed them over. We have some more things to show you, including a new feature, a roguelike dungeon, Time-Twisted Maze. So what is the Time-Twisted Maze? This is an endlessly replayable dungeon. You could play it over and over again. No key cards are required to play. You can play it as many times as you like. Every time you play, the dungeon is randomly generated when you enter. You start from level 1 with no equipment in every dungeon, and you can strengthen your characters with items you find as you explore, and you can obtain powerful equipment that can be used outside of the dungeon as well. No, you can play as many times as you want as long as you meet the requirements to start. And please note that the screens used here are from the Japanese edition of the game under development. Upon returning from these dungeons, you will get parts, which are items that turn into equipment by defeating the bosses in each level. These are the only things that you can bring back from these dungeons. The equipment is available to make the early stages of the game easier to play, even for beginners, and the stats and abilities are randomized, so you have to wait and see what equipment you get when you praise it. Again, images from the Japanese version of the game under development. And along with that, in this dungeon, or along with the release of this dungeon, another person we're going to meet is a castaway of 1,000 eons. I think some of you called him Shovel Boy, Noahxis, voiced by Josh Cowdery. Let's linger on this a little bit, because we have a sprite here too. Let me get out of their way. There we go. Move my down. There we go. Can you dig it? I just did that. So this is a new character you'll meet in the Time-Twisted Maze. He will show you around and tell you what you need to know. And now we've got some more selling points from Koike-san recommending the Time-Twisted Maze. It's fun because it is a challenging dungeon where you have to think of a different strategy each time you play. You feel elation when you get a strong skill and tension when you wonder how far you can go. And then there's the thrill of appraising the weapons you've worked so hard to bring back. Recommended for people who like roguelike games and for people who want to play thoroughly and master a game. A little bit of development trivia here. During the test play, the exchange of strategy information among the development team members was very enjoyable. A lot of back and forth. And it's content that feels rewarding no matter how many times you play it. It's fun because Noahxis is handsome. Can't deny you. I can't deny there. Husbando material for sure. So let's recap, sum up the 2.13.1 update info. We've got the Apocrypha, new scenario content, The Road to Thunder, and the new dungeon, Time-Twisted Maze. In addition to that, we've got some new characters coming, Nona, Orlea, Miyu's Extra Style, and Noahxis. And then we have an encounter, a fateful encounter featuring Orlea and Miyu Extra Style. It's going to be 3 times only, and as well as a campaign. 1,000 Chrono Stones for starting the new scenario content, Apocrypha. You heard that right, 1,000 stones just for starting the scenario content, Apocrypha. Please see the in-game notices on the update day for details. But that's not the only campaign we going on. There's a pre-release campaign coming very, very soon on June 27th. That's just a couple of days from now. We've got encounters. You can encounter another style Minerva, and then 2 times only, you've got Fateful Encounters for Thunder Force Edition. Also, Chronostone sales for 2,000 and 4,000 increments until July 7th, and we'll have an increased login bonus, including the Apocrypha release date until July 16th. Then we've got the Apocrypha pre-release special. We've got 2 types of Twin Destinies encounters. 1 time only. First, we've got the Twin Destinies Origins Edition on the 9th and 10th encounters. Normal style or Parallel 5 Time Layer style allies are guaranteed to appear. So you can get a normal or Parallel Time Layer on the 9th and 10th. That is paid 1,000 1 time only. And then also same deal with the Rebirth Edition. Except the difference is another style or an extra style are guaranteed to appear on the 9th and 10th encounters there. The duration is pretty short window here, June 27th, that's a few days from now, until June 30th. So please don't miss that if you are, if that sounds good to you. And now, one of the things that I think many of you are probably going to be the most excited about. Some of you might be excited about the little game show that we have later on after this the most, but I think maybe most of you are most excited about what I have to show you next, which is another little video. Please enjoy. So just a little bit of a teaser there that we wanted to show you, including some of the concept art, some of the early concept art from Part 3. We have a comment here from the man himself, Masato Kato, who says, it has been the long story that began when Aldo and Fine met Mare in the forest is finally coming to a close. Ogre Rancorum, those who stand against the darkness, and the battle between the Goddess of Time and the Kronos Empire. What will become of them? The entire staff is working hard towards the start of Part 3, with renewed resolution, so please bear with us for a little while longer. What do you think? Thoughts? First impressions? We also have a comment from our producer. Part 3, The Kronos Empire Strikes Back, is in production. I wanted to share with the global community some concept art, that's what you saw in the video just now, that was recently shown during the Japanese version's live stream, which will be used to create the world feel for Part 3. Although it says Final Battle, Another Eden itself will of course continue. This phrase Final Battle expresses Kato-san's own determination. We're giving it, we ourselves will give it everything we've got to. So please wait for further news. Yes, so Final Battle is of this story arc, right? Do not worry, Another Eden is not ending. Another Eden will still continue, of course. But Part 3, it's the end of an era. The end of an arc. Thoughts? What do you think? You know, having been doing these for I guess about a year and a half now, sometimes I feel like a lot of you in chat are 2 steps ahead of me, knowing what's coming next in the presentation. I feel like I got a lot of you this time. I feel like I finally got one where many of you were surprised by it. So little win there. Now, finally, the last thing we're gonna do today, we're done with the news. We've got a fun little game show. I'm gonna put on my game show host hat. This game show is a little idea I like to call Dream Team. Welcome everyone to Dream Team. I'm your host, Scott, community manager for Another Eden, the cat beyond time and space. How to play. First, our contestants have submitted parties for 4 different themes. You, the chat, are going to vote on the best party that you feel matches the theme. Submissions are anonymous before the vote and have been collected in advance. The identity of the contestants behind each submission will be revealed after the voting is complete. And then the contestant who submitted the winning party will get 1 point each round, and whoever has the most points at the end will win. We clear? All right. So, before we get to the first question, let's meet our contestants. First, hailing from Japan, born in Japan, raised in Japan, and having never left Japan is Backy. He is a member of the global version dev team and MC of the Japanese community live stream. He has been with Right Flyer Studios for 1.5 years. He enjoys karaoke, manga, and darts. Backy-san, if you're watching, we must go to karaoke ni ishou ni ikimashou. Zehi. Next, we have Koike-san, who is the freshly anointed producer of the global version from Saitama, Japan. Been with Right Flyer Studios for 3.5 years. He enjoys gaming, traveling, and making plastic models and garage kits. And finally, a familiar face to some of you who watched our Q&A a little while back, Justin, localization manager, hailing from Memphis, Tennessee, who's been with Right Flyer Studios for 3 years, and he sometimes eats popcorn for breakfast. A little fun fact about Justin. So those are our contestants. Once again, each round is going to have a different theme, and the theme of the first round is group project. So our contestants were asked to build a party that they think would be the best for a group project. Now this is, I think, school group, like a class project comes to mind the most. Work would also be acceptable, but let's see what they have. So what I'm going to do, I want you to take a look at these first, and I'm going to start writing the poll out here. Round 1. We got 1, 2, and 3. And first I'm going to read kind of the reasons that everybody gave, and as soon as I finish reading them, I will activate the poll. So we have number 1, Nekoko, because there's always one. Hozuki, who shows up only at the end. Suzette, full of ideas, and none of them are good. Pizka, who would bring the snacks. Silly Lily, because there's always one. And Rika, who does all the work for everyone. Number 2 gave these reasons. Isuka is the organizer here, and you've got a lot of smart people that can actually put into a plan together for the interesting ideas that Nikoko and Thilly can come up with. Even if Renri gets frustrated when Nikoko and Thilly inevitably go off the rails, Miyu and Kikyo are there to mediate and make sure everyone has a positive meeting. And then for number 3, you've got Victor, who is the visionary and leader, Radika, who is the fortune teller with Iwella following her, Isuka and Curio are the brains of the operation, and then Rika is the database. All right? So those are our options. And the poll is now live. And we'll keep that live for a minute or two. And while the poll is live, I want to ask you guys in chat, who do you think, how do you justify your vote? Which one do you think is best? And I'll drink from my invisible cup. So we got, so far it looks like Team 1 is in the lead. It's what happens when you get when you have a green cup and you're keying out a green screen. You end up drinking from an invisible cup. So far, 190 votes are in. 42% of them are for number 1. I'm going to let this go for a little while longer. Once I see that it hits 2 minutes, we'll end the poll. But it looks like number 1 is going to come away with this. 210 votes now. I don't know if this feels like a pretty long minute to anybody else. There we go, 2 minutes. Ending the poll there. I think the results are clear. Number 1 takes it. Poll complete with 42% of the vote. Number 1 takes it. So who is getting the point there? Well, that would be Justin. Congratulations, Justin, on coming away with the first ever point of Dream Team. All right. Now, round 2. Our contestants were asked to create a party that would be best to staff a restaurant. The kind of advice that I gave to everybody when presenting this theme is not just to think about cooks, but also to think about front of house, back of house, management, things of that nature. Everybody that you need to staff a restaurant. All right. So I'm gonna type up, get this poll ready here. Round 2. 1, 2, and 3. Once again, I'm going to read off the reasons, and as soon as I'm done reading the reasons, we will open the poll. So, here are our 3 parties. Number 1, we've got Hozuki with this as the store owner, while Daisy is the manager. And then you've got Samora on the grill with Garyu providing some extra firepower. And then Mistrea is your front of house server / host with her wings allowing her to get from table to table very quickly. And finally, you've got Claude, who handles the accounting. Number 2, we've got Victor as the waiter, as he already knows what you're going to order. Flamlepis has you covered for all of your water needs with endless recommendations. Oh no, I think I've spoiled it. Number 2. Kikyo can work the delivery. Try to be unbiased here. Kikyo can work the delivery. Ifa and Shigure are behind the bar, and then Pry is the chef who appears in local commercials. And then finally, number 3, we've got lots of foodies here. Pizka and Miris are cooking. Suzette names the dishes. Curio and the manager is the manager and team leader. Though you might have a lot of people snacking in this group. So we'll go ahead. We'll make that vote apparent. Once again, I am trusting all of you to put your bias aside and vote for which group you truly think is the best. You're on the honor system. So once again, a lot of number ones winning here so far, already with 112 votes in for party number 1. Two will have the hottest food. Yeah, well, with Pry back there, maybe it would be the most well done. Although Pry is meant to be the manager, I guess. Or he's appearing in local commercials. How was that written? Oh, he is the chef. So yeah, it'll be very well done with his fiery passion. And once again, once this poll hits about 2 minutes, we'll be closing it. But it looks like with 206 votes so far and 45% of the vote, number 1 is running away with this. Number 2 might be able to catch up with a last-minute burst. Number 3, it looks like all is lost for them this round. Poll is still open. All right, I'm closing it now. And once again, this is on a delay, so it's going to be closed before you hear this. Well, once again, number 1 runs away with it, and you already know, due to my little scrolling mouse wheel error, Koike-san takes this round with his party. So we got so far 1 point for Justin, 1 point for Koike-san, and Backy with no points so far. This one I think is the most fun theme to me, at least. Contestants were asked to come up with a party that could be the cast of a romantic comedy. All right, so thinking of your leads, your romantic leads, but also supporting cast and things like that. And for this one, we've written the reasoning in kind of movie trailer kind of style here. So let me go ahead and prepare the question. Round 3. 1. Rom-com cast. 2. And 3. All right. How is it looking on the screen? Is it cut off a little bit? It is cut off a little bit. Let me raise this up just ever so slightly again. I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. All right, so here are our choices. Number 1. Movie narrator, movie trailer voice here. When Palm's new love potion number 10 accidentally falls into the 3-star support group Fruit Punch, hilarity ensues as the Gallery of Dreams' most eligible bachelors suddenly find themselves competing for her hand. Who will Palm choose to become the guaranteed 5-star character of her dreams? Palm stars in Rom-Pom. All right. Number 2. When two secret agents from opposing governments meet while both on secret missions, they fall in love. But what they don't know is that the target of their mission is each other? Will these two undercover lovers put their mission first, as they always have, or will they turn on their partners Hardy and Palm in the name of love? Renri and Seti star in Top Secret Admirers. Number 3. 5 handsome suitors all compete for the love of a noble warrior in this slapstick romantic comedy. As each one fails in their courtship, they find a unique way to win her over through combat. In the end, will Akane be holding the hand of her true lover or a sword stained with the blood of her enemies? Find out in Love is War. All right, and with that, poll is live. So let's see. Ooh, it looks like 2 is winning this one. So far, 130 votes cast so far, with 60% of the vote already. And once again, this will go until I see that it has hit the 2-minute mark. But looks fairly unanimous at this point. Not unanimous, but it looks like we're heading for a landslide here. 198 votes cast so far. Number 2 is running away with 62% of the vote. All right, that's 2 minutes, ending the poll there. And as mentioned, number 2 is our winner here. Let's reveal whose that was. Number 2 in the rom-com cast. Once again, that is Koike-san, who takes the lead after coming from behind after being down in the first round. Now takes the lead in the 3rd round. Little behind the curtain info. I gotta say, Top Secret Admirers is a title that I just love. Finally, round 4, we have a deserted island. So these are characters that you would want with you if you were stranded on an island. Now, maybe your strategy is to have characters with you to just make do, or characters that help you get off the island, whatever it is. It was kind of open to interpretation. So keep that in mind. And let me get round 4's poll ready. Okay, and here we go. So for this final round, number 1, May is the craftsman who can build whatever you need, while LeClaire is here for her survival and hunting skills. Then you have the experienced woodsman and lumberjack Benedict to gather firewood and resources for May to work with. And then 3 characters all chosen for their command of the sea in case of water navigation. So we've got Miranda the pirate, Cyrus the frog, and Pry, who can put power into rowing a boat. Then number 2, characters who were chosen to solve practical problems logically. Victor, who anticipates unseen situations, and Shigure can put anxiety to rest with his broad range of skills. Then we've got Eva and Daisy bringing wisdom that humans cannot possess, and Rosetta and Melissa to put it towards a realistic escape plan. And then finally, number 3, Eva, because she can fly off the island. That's the end of that. So here we go. Poll is now live. Oh my goodness, number 3 taking it right away. $188 votes in already. Eva was 72%. I don't know how anybody's going to catch up to that, but in the name of fairness, I got to let it run for 2 minutes. I will say the person who submitted Eva was concerned that they felt like it was kind of a cop-out. But, you know, there's nothing in the rules that says a dog can't play basketball. So... All right, so that's gonna do it. I think it's been up for a little bit more than 2 minutes. With 227 votes in, 67% of the vote. Number 3, Eva alone wins in a landslide. And so, let's reveal who number 3 is. That was, in fact, Justin. So Justin, in the game of tug of war here with Koike-san, ends this game show in a tie. We have a tie between Justin and Koike-san, which means that I can't show any of these little winner slides that I made for all of these characters, all of these people, because we hit a tie. So hey, maybe if you like this, if you enjoyed it, please let us know in the comments that you had a good time. If not, I mean, don't, but that's okay. And maybe we'll do it again, and maybe we'll have tiebreakers, or maybe we'll have the points carry over into another round in a later stream or something like that. You let us know if you'd like to see this again, and we'll do it again maybe. And that will do it that does it for this edition of Another Eden Live. Thank you all so much. I hope you are looking forward to the upcoming content, the Apocrypha, and the forthcoming down the road part 3. Very excited about that. I hope you all have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy your moment, and I will see you next time. Bye.